Hey everyone, welcome back to Immigration with Barbara. I'm Barbara, a licensed immigration consultant, and I help people DIY their Canadian immigration. Today we're going to jump into Canadian citizenship. For Canadian citizenship, how you apply has shifted and changed over the years. They are trying to shift more to online. Prior to this, it was like only paper. Like that was your only option. It had to be paper, it had to be mailed. Now they're shifting to online. Not everyone can do online. Right now, an adult can do online on their own if they are submitting unrepresented. So I'm going to show you that. How to do that. So if you're a single adult above the age of 18, you're a permanent resident, you're thinking about citizenship, I'm going to show you the portal and actually how I would fill it out as a person, as a person interested in Canadian citizenship. Before we dive in, I guess I should go over the eligibility first, actually. So let me look at that very quickly, very brief, for you to have an understanding of, can you even do it? So if you're a family, you've got little kids and all of that, like you can apply together as a family, include all the children. This, of course, is eligibility for an adult directly from IRCC's website. So if I go up here, this is an application for Canadian citizenship, adults. So therefore, that's why it says you must be at least 18 years of age or older on the day you sign your application. You must be a permanent resident of Canada. You must have been physically present in Canada for at least 1,095 days in the 5 years immediately before you apply. So this is a rolling timeline. At least 2 of those years need to be as a permanent resident. But you can use time as a temporary resident. So time as a temporary resident within that 5-year period, whether you were a visitor, a worker, or a student, or on maintained status, can be used. Each day as a temporary resident is half a day towards the total, maxing out at a year. So in other words, the soonest time you could apply to be a citizen is after at least 2 years of being a permanent resident and 2 years of being a temporary resident, because you need 3 years in the past 5. There you go. Sometimes a little confusing. It's always confusing to me when I try to explain it verbally, and sometimes you gotta see it visually and have an understanding. You may need to file personal income taxes for at least 3 years within the past 5-year period. Only people who wouldn't be required to file the taxes if they literally aren't required to file taxes. But if, based on your situation, you were required to file with the CRA, just file the taxes. It's just easier that way. Then yes, yeah, you knew. So yeah, if you're in a position where you're like, I have not and I was supposed to, you gotta start that first before you can jump into this. Just hire someone you trust who knows what they're doing and they can file everything all together for you. Must demonstrate adequate knowledge of English or French if you're between the ages 18 and 54 when you apply. There's a few different ways to do this. If you did a language test for your permanent residence application, you can use an old English test. It doesn't expire for citizenship purposes. There are other ways as well. If you did do education in English, if you did education in Canada, or there is a language test you can do. The language test for citizenship is listening and speaking only. So it's not the full 4-factor language test. And again, it can be English or French. You must demonstrate you have knowledge of Canada and of the responsibilities and privileges of citizenship if you are between 18 and 54. This is assessed after you apply. So this isn't something you do ahead of time. It's after you submit. They'll send you a invitation to do the citizenship test. Can't have any unfulfilled conditions relating to your PR status. Can't be under a removal order. Can't be inadmissible or prohibited on criminal or security grounds. There is a very handy tool so you can check. It's literally like a questionnaire. It'll just ask you questions. You say yes, no, maybe, and then it'll tell you if you're perhaps eligible, if you're a little bit confused by this. If you Yeah, not sure whether you have Canadian citizenship or not. See if you may already be a citizen. This too, yeah, if you're like confused about that, you can also see that. This would be maybe if you had it by descent, you know what I mean? Like if your parents had it and so you get it by descent or something like that. But something to explore before you dive in, of course. No need to apply if you are already a citizen. Okay, so if you're going online, which I highly recommend if you are an adult over 18, you can do that if you're unrepresented, and you're going to make an account. And then when you go into your account, it's going to look like, how's it going to look like? Like this. This is me. I made Borbus Doombus. Why did I do that? I don't know. I didn't want to use my real name. But here we go. Here's Borbus Doombus's application. When you create an application through the citizenship portal, it's good for 60 days. If you go beyond that 60 days, it'll just cancel out. You got to start all over and make the account all over. So that is something special with this portal right now. Again, IRCC is always iterating and changing and innovating how they're going to intake applications. So this can change, but at this time, it's July 2025 at the time of me filming this. You have this portal for 60 days, citizenship portal. If you don't submit, it just cancels everything. You got to start all over. So yeah, don't want that. So I created it, got 60 days. It is in progress. Borbus Doombus is the name I gave it. Don't ask me why. And here we go. I'm going to show you everything. Go step by step. So will this be long and boring? Probably. But you know what? If it's helpful, perfect. Worth it. All right. Tell us about yourself. In which language would you like to receive service? You have two options, English or Francais. Do you have any special needs requiring accommodation? Yes or no? Simply answer. UCI, this will be on your permanent resident card. It's also on any of your visas, work permits, study permits, visitor records as well, typically in the top right-hand corner. It's 8 or 10 digits. You provide it here. This is made up. So don't worry, I didn't provide someone's actual. I made this up. Your name, full name, as it shows on your confirmation of permanent residence document or your last PR card. Borbus Doombus is my name I chose for this submission. Have you changed your name since becoming a PR? Yes, no. Have you ever used any other name, nickname, previous marriage, maiden name, anything like that? Declare it here. Gender. Do you need to change the gender designation? There is that option now with citizenship, so yes or no. My height, my eye color, and this is a made-up DOB. Obviously, I'm not crazy putting this on the internet. So date of birth, easy. Have you corrected your date of birth on your immigration document or legally changed it since coming to Canada? Legally change? I did not know you could legally change your date of birth. Maybe if it was incorrect on a birth certificate. So if this applies to you, of course you say yes. Does not apply to me. Do you need to correct the date of birth? Nope. It is correct. Place of birth. Awesome Town, USA. This is also fictional. Marital status, single. There you go. So simple information. That's the first section. Boom, done. Contact information. How can IRCC contact you? So you're going to provide them with an email. You're going to provide them with an address and a mailing address if your home address is different from that. Maybe you have like a P.O. box or something. A primary phone number. Any other phone number, work, home, got a landline, throw that in there. If someone is helping you with the application, then you say yes. If you're filling it out completely by yourself, you say no. Do you want to appoint a representative to communicate and conduct business with IRCC on your behalf? This is your choice. You don't have to. If you're an adult submitting on your own, you could just say no. If you say yes, there's another document you need to provide, and then like another person has access to this information. So I didn't actually answer all of these, so it's going to say no, it's not correct. But you get the point that if you answer everything correctly, you get another green check mark, contact information, done, easy. Okay, photo and identification. One digital citizenship photo. You must upload a digital file. A commercial photographer must take that photo. Okay, I know with a lot of other applications, some people do it themselves, and sometimes that's okay, right? You do it from home, white background, clear lighting, no shadows. This one, it has to be a commercial photographer. They have file size minimum, image size, file format requirements as well. You can add the photo and then view the photo. And then the commercial photographer, you need to provide their information. So sometimes they have like a little stamp or a business card or something when they give you your photo. So just confirm that and you can include that. The photo must have been taken within the past 6 months before you submit your application. So your month, day that it was taken. Personal identification. At least 2 pieces of ID. Must have your name, date of birth, photo, and signature. Must be valid, not expired. So you can't use like an old passport. Exception, you can use an old PR card, which is nice. So choose the ID you want to provide. I mean, yeah, most people have a passport. So typically we always do at least the passport and you would upload that. Make sure the uploaded document is clear and easy to read. If the document is not in English, you must upload some supporting documents. So if there's anything on your passport that isn't in English or French, you may need to get it translated. Use the right file size and format. If you're ever unsure, you can always click this and it'll let you know. You can upload a maximum of 2 files here. So if you need more space or something. But it's just a biographical page, the page with your face on it. Again, we need a second piece of ID. These are the options. Most people have a driver's license, some people might not. You would probably have a health insurance card though if you're in Canada. Most people are. They're applying for citizenship. Or these if that does apply to you. Front and back of ID for this. And ideally a color as well. Very clear color scan of one of these, front and back would be my recommendation. And again, when you upload it, you can view it, which is really nice. So you can make sure it's correct. So once that's ready, you'll get a green check mark. Boom, we're good. Addresses. So next tab is residence and tax. Address. List all the addresses you have held either inside or outside of Canada in the past 5 years from the date you submit your application. If you've moved a lot or anything like that, that'll be a bit of a doozy. If you have some, steady addresses, it's not too bad. There can be no gaps and you fill it out. And again, it's year, month, and day as well that they want here. Country or territory. So when you add that in, it'll open up and then ask for more and you can search the address. Oh, so I don't know a fictional address. So I'm not going to search it for you, but you can put your address there and you will see that. You save the address, you move on, you add more if you have moved, and make sure there are absolutely no gaps, not even a day. If it's your current address, you just click that, so there's no 2 day. Police certificates. In the past 4 years, were you in a country or territory other than Canada for 183 days or more in a row since the age of 18? So a significant period, and again, it's in a row. So if you were essentially 6 months somewhere outside of Canada in the last 4 years, you will need a police certificate from that country. But if not, you just say no and no police clearance is required. Do you have a SIN number, individual tax number? Yes. Provide your SIN number that you use to file your taxes with the CRA. You would have had a slightly different number if you were here as a temporary resident versus if you're now here as a permanent resident. Use your current one. And tell us when you filed your income taxes in the last 5 years. So did you file? Yes. Did you file? Yes. Did you file? Yes. Did you file? Yes. And maybe you're like, oh, I got here in 2021. I wasn't here in 2020. I didn't need to file. So no. Were you required to file? No, I wasn't here. I didn't come to Canada in 2020. I was not required to file. And that would be okay, because remember the requirement is to file at least 3 of the last 5 years. SIN, released to CRA. This is just confirming if you consent to sharing your income tax filing history between IRCC and the CRA. They added this a long time ago. You used to actually have to provide all your tax documents. They added this, so it's kind of nice. Instead of going through and collecting all those documents to upload, you just say yes, and they can get the documents themselves from CRA. Thank you, IRCC, for that. Immigration and citizenship status. Do you currently or have you ever held immigration or citizenship status in a country or territory other than Canada? This includes your country of birth. So most people will say, of course, yes, at some point or currently. Add the immigration or citizenship status. If it's something you've had since birth, you can put, the day you were born, end date, maybe not applicable, country or territory, and the status. So you put, citizen or something like that. And that's immigration status or citizenship status. So also if you were a worker, maybe you went to Germany for a year to work abroad for a year. Maybe you were a student in Italy for a semester abroad. Whatever it is, you can include that. So there's citizen, permanent resident, visitor, worker, anything like that. Anything significant to add to it. Save the status and it'll let you add another one if you have multiple to add there. Yeah, everyone will have probably at least one thing because you're a citizen of somewhere. You know what I mean? Travel documents or passports. Have you ever held travel documents or passports during your 5-year eligibility period? So again, it's just the 5-year eligibility period, providing all documentation, the date it was issued, the date it expires, document number, country or territory of issue, place of issue, which is always listed on the passport biographical page as well. Do you have the bio page, yes or no? And then if your document has more than one bio page, upload them all as one file. So yeah, you'd upload them here. Things to say about this one. Yes, here. If there are any gaps between the documents, provide an explanation. So it's not really like a worrisome red flag thing. Say your passport expired. It took you, and you're like, oh, I just put off the paperwork a little bit. And so there's a few months gap between one passport and the other. That's okay. Just explain it. Yeah. And that's it. So history of travel documents, residence, and tax is this whole tab, and that's it. Work, school, and activities. So again, just the past 5 years. So it's not like going back to PR where it's a 10-year history. This is just 5 years, which is nice. And it's the eligibility period. So the date you submit, past 5 years, rolling timeline. Start with your most recent employment or education. Include any periods of unemployment, retirement, homemaker, self-employed. Do not use any abbreviations or acronyms. If there's any missing days, periods of time, or if the section is left blank, we'll return your application to you. So again, it's kind of like that personal history section in permanent residence. If you remember that, it's what have you been doing for the past 5 years? Everything, all of it. If you took a course, if you've just been working, if you got laid off from work, you went on EI payments maybe for 6 or 7 months, and then found a new job, started a new work, if you got promoted, just put all the details here possible, and absolutely no missing days, no gaps whatsoever. So the activities go in like this. These are all the required things, all these red stars. Save the activity and go next, and start with the most recent as well. They like that. And again, you'll know you've done it right because you'll get a green check mark, which is nice. Because if I go back here and I go to check if page is ready, it's like, no, you've literally told us nothing. We know nothing about you. It's not ready. So if there's any gaps, it will tell you, but don't rely on it. So that's always the key with any portal or IRCC or anything online. Don't rely on the system. They do have things in place to kind of help you, but you want to go through and check your history yourself and make sure there are no gaps that you can see. Prohibitions. To be eligible to become a Canadian citizen, you cannot be prohibited under the Citizenship Act. Read the situations that prevent you from becoming a Canadian citizen. Now, ideally, yes, you'd want to read these before so you haven't, done all this work just to get to this point and be like, oh, shoot, actually, I don't qualify. But here are all the questions that we'll ask you. Are you now serving a term of imprisonment? You can't apply if you are. So you say, no, I'm here. I'm not in prison. On probation? No. On parole? No. Are you now serving a sentence outside of Canada for an offense? No. Are you now charged with or on trial for, subject to, or a party to an appeal relating to? That is such a mouthful. Are you now charged with, on trial for, subject to, or a party to an appeal relating to an offense under the Citizenship Act or an indictable offense in Canada? Now charged with, subject to, or a party to an appeal. Yeah, no. An offense outside of Canada. No. Offense under the Citizenship. No. Are you now, or have you ever been under a removal order? Have you been asked by Canadian officials to leave Canada? And it says, are you now, or have you ever been? So if you had one in the past, you've overcome it. That's fine. Just you do have to declare, yes, in the past I have. Yeah, here, no. Are you now under investigation for, charged with, on trial for, subject to, or a party to an appeal relating to, or have you been convicted of a war crime or a crime against humanity? Yes or no? Again, mouthfuls, but read them carefully and make sure they don't apply to you. In the 5 years immediately before the date of your citizenship application, were you prohibited from being granted citizenship or taking the oath of citizenship because of misrepresentation or withholding material circumstances? No. In the 10 years immediately before the date of your citizenship application, was your Canadian citizenship taken away for reasons of false representation, fraud, or knowingly concealing material circumstances? Yes, no. Again, this is where misrepresentation is so important. I know you're here, your citizenship, you're past the past ones, but misrepresenting in any way in any past application, it just can be so devastating. It follows you, I'll say that. So yeah, if you have friends, family, colleagues who are at the start of their immigration journey, I always implore that. Of course, I mean, misrepresenting at the end of the day is just straight up lying. So of course, no one wants anyone to lie ever. But I think people just can accidentally sometimes do it, or be confused or misunderstand, and so. But if it's accidental, it still happened. So anyway, just side note, obviously misrep follows you. In the 4 years immediately before the date of your citizenship application, have you been convicted of an indictable offense under any act of parliament or an offense under the Citizenship Act? No. Been convicted of an offense outside Canada, regardless of whether you were pardoned or otherwise granted amnesty for the offense? No. While a permanent resident, have you been convicted in Canada of terrorism, high treason, or spying? No. Been convicted outside Canada of terrorism? No. Served as a member of an armed force of a country or territory or an organized armed group and that country or territory or group engaged in armed conflict with Canada? No. Whew, again, mouthfuls. By checking this box, I confirm I have read and understand the prohibitions under the Citizenship Act. Yes. Chef's kiss. Boom, got a green check mark. This page is ready. Yes. Okay, so again, just reading, calmly understanding. If any of those were like, maybe that's me, you can also get a legal opinion, have a strategy session one-on-one with a licensed consultant or licensed lawyer as well. Just make sure your representative is always licensed if you seek immigration advice from anyone. Now, English proof or French proof. Do you have proof? Yes, of course. Select the proof you would like to do. So there's options. There's options here. So again, if you attended school in Canada, if you did there's some English or French language training as well. If you have the language test that you did in your permanent residence, that's also an option. Or if you have none of these, you can just go and take the language test. It's only listening and speaking that is mandatory for citizenship. So it's like half of the regular language test, which also has reading and writing. Don't have to do reading and writing. It's a separate test. Sign up for that. It's a pretty quick and easy thing. And then you upload your proof of language ability. Physical presence calculator. Okay, let's take a moment, take a breath. This one is important. Physical presence calculator. It needs to be perfect. And I know it's going to be a bit of math, but you got this. So what do we know? We have to have been in Canada, physically here in Canada. No exceptions to that. Physically here in Canada, with your body here in Canada, 3 years during the eligibility period. Eligibility period is what? It's 5 years. Must include at least 730 days as a permanent resident. That's 2 years. Can include time when you had valid temporary status or protected person status as well, if applicable. We encourage you to apply with at more than 3 years of living in Canada in case there's any problem with your calculation. Highly recommend this as well. If you have exactly 1095 days, but you've miscalculated, this application is going to get returned back to you. You got to start all over. Might as well wait a little bit of time, have a bit of a buffer, if you will, and just make sure you're right on the money with this. So kindly, it tells you this is your 5-year eligibility period. Thank you, portal. During your 5-year eligibility period, did you live outside of Canada as a Crown servant? Yes, no. During your 5-year eligibility period, did you live outside of Canada as a family member of a Crown servant? Yes, no. Date you became a permanent resident. Make sure you enter the correct date. That's on you, right? If you edit the date after saving it, it will reset the calculator and you need to re-enter all your information again, except for the Crown Servant questions above. Great. Thank you, portal. So make sure you know this. Confirmation of permanent residence document or your PR card will have date you became a permanent resident. Add that in. I've chosen March 15th, 2023 for these purposes, because why not? During your 5-year eligibility period, did you have valid temporary status before becoming a permanent resident? Why, yes, I did. Thank you for asking. Add temporary status. So we'll go, okay, we were a worker. We were here on a work permit from 2022. Second. Great time to come. And we had that working holiday permit for 2 years, but hey, we became a permanent resident March 15th, 2023. So that status ended 2023, March 14th. Because on the 15th, we were no longer a worker, we were a permanent resident. Did you apply to extend your status? No, I did not, because I became a permanent resident. But if you did, you can just add that in there. Date you applied to extend. Was it approved? Yes. Expiry date of the extended status. So that's how you can do that. Or a decision of the refusal if you lost your worker status as well. So whatever is true for you, you add that in. You save it. Let me go. No, you save this. It adds it in, which is really, 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 really nice. And that's it, right? You can edit, you can delete it, and then you can add it again if you're like, oh wait, actually, I was also here before. I was a student. What would make sense? January 2022. So I was a student from, why did I make this hard for myself? January 2021. Jan, or let's go 2022. 20, something that makes sense. Obviously, this is all made up. It's not necessarily going to make sense. But your situation will, of course, make sense. I want to January 1, because here I'm saying January 2nd, I became a worker. Did you apply to extend your status? Nope. I just finished my 1-year course that I did in Canada. Boom. Okay, great. So it has my time. I did 1 year. I did a diploma in Canada, and then I got a working holiday permit, and then I became a permanent resident. During your 5-year eligibility period, did you have valid protected person status before becoming a permanent resident? If you did, you would know. So you say yes. Not? No. During your 5-year eligibility period, did you spend time serving a sentence? Time spent in prison, on parole, or on probation won't count towards your physical presence. There is an exception here in some situations. So just look into that, get a legal opinion to determine that. No. Because if you answer yes, you will need to provide that sentence. Probation, parole, imprisonment, other. And make a note of it here. And so that it'll be removed from your period. So we'll say no. During your 5-year eligibility period, did you leave Canada for any reason? For example, vacation, work, business, family matters, school, or illness? Again, physically leaving the country. Of course I did. Yes. Where did I go? I went to Hawaii with my family. Let's say in 2024. In May 15th to 2024, May 25th. We did 10 days. It was beautiful. Did you visit more than one country during this time? Nope. We just went to Hawaii. And the reason that we did it, what makes the most sense, tourism, such as a vacation, save. Anything else, any other time you left, oh, small trip to Seattle, throw it in there. You went to Europe for the summer, beautiful, throw it in there. You went to Australia, your best friend was getting married, beautiful, throw it in there. Any absences from Canada in the 5-year eligibility period only. The whole time, though, even if you were a worker, visitor, student, regardless of what your status was in Canada, anytime you left during that time. And we go, okay, great. Calculate my physical presence. Congratulations, you have at least 1095 days. Perfect, right? The system's going to like confirm it for you, which is so wonderful. This is how many days I was an international student, temporary worker on my working holiday permit. Again, each day as a temporary resident counts as half up to a year. So I max that out. I can use 365 days. Boom, got it. This is the time I was a permanent resident. I did go on that vacation, right? So that's minused from my total at 845 and then total 1210. And again, we want a buffer. So we need 1095. But if we have a buffer, even better. So we can feel really confident we meet the physical requirements. And then we go, boom, next. This page is done. Consent to disclose personal information after you acquire citizenship. This is up to you. It's completely up to you. Voluntary is the word I want to say. Request for authorization. I authorize IRCC to forward my personal info to the member of parliament. Up to you. You can say yes or no. It has no impact on your application. If you would like to register for voting, of course, once you are a citizen, you can register. So you can do, it has some information here. Request for authorization. So I authorize IRCC to give my info to Elections Canada and the National Register of Electors. So again, you can say yes or no. Yes is kind of nice because, I mean, you have to register anyway to vote after if you would like to vote after you become a Canadian citizen. So this just does that process for you. And then Quebec has a separate section here. Choose the type of citizenship certificate you want. There's paper or electronic. It's entirely up to you. So this is very much choose your own adventure and does not have an impact on the application itself. Finally, we have optional documents. So if there's anything else regarding your application specifically, you can upload it here. You can upload a maximum of 4 files. They can have multiple pages though, if you have like big PDF documents. And again, just be mindful of the rules. It must be in English or French or accompanied by a translation. A file and format sizing needs to be met as well, and make sure it's clear and easy to read whatever you're uploading. If you finish all of this, you'll have green check marks all along the left-hand side. You can then pay the fee, which takes you here. Pay the fee online, save the receipts. You'll upload the receipt here, add the file, check if page is ready, right? Oh, I haven't uploaded the file. I haven't paid the receipt. So, you know, you got to go do that. So it's hyperlinked here. You go, you pay it. Yeah, recommend paying the whole thing all in one go, uploading the receipt. And lastly, review and sign. So it is your responsibility, all the information you are submitting. Again, this cannot be done by a representative. It has to be done by an individual. You can have a representative support in terms of like strategic support, asking your questions, and things like that. But a representative's cannot submit at this time. Again, things can change. Things are always shifting and innovating. And again, it's like, oh, shoot, wait, I didn't do all these. Not ready, not ready. Because, right, I was just showing you, I wasn't uploading anything. So it's another final check. You obviously want everything green, everything to say ready, and have it all good. I would go through it at least one more time, if not 2 more times, before I hit submit. So everything we just did, I will go through it again. I'm checking with just like razor sharp vision that it's all good. It's all good. It's all correct. Every I is dotted, every T is crossed. Obviously, we're typing here, but just the metaphor is there. Double checking. This is going to be about meticulous dates, right? It really comes down to the dates. Like, what were you doing? What was your travel? What was your status? Date you became a PR, all of that. Those little details matter. If there's anything missing or something's afoot, if you will, it can get just returned back to you. And it's just a pain, right? It's not the end of the world because you can, of course, build the application again, resubmit again. But who wants to wait, right? Yeah, like, because it's not an instant thing too. Typically, it's going to be a few months if someone looks at it and goes, oh, shoot, this one thing is missing. Okay, I'm sending it back. They have to restart. No one wants to get that email. So this is how you know. This is how you do it. This is how you submit. And there you go. Those are all my insights and tips to Canadian citizenship, Borbus Doombus's Canadian citizenship, if you will. Once again, this was all fictional information as well, obviously, but I hope this was helpful for you as you are preparing your Canadian citizenship application. It's kind of straightforward, but I think the nerve-wracking thing here is just how detailed it needs to be and how missing one little detail can lead to them just sending it back to you and you're like, oh, great, right? Everything needs to be redone, recalculated, re-signed. Maybe your photo's out of date, you need to get a new photo. We just don't want that to happen to you. No one wants that to happen to you. I don't want it to happen to you. You don't want it to happen to you. So just take your time with it. If we were going through that and there were some things where you're like, actually, I'm not sure if I would say yes or no to that question. I don't know if I'm eligible. I highly implore you to get a one-on-one, implore you to get a one-on-one with a legal professional you trust. Ensure that they are licensed before you engage with them. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, so RCICs can do that, but you can go online, put in their name, and just confirm they are licensed, or lawyers as well. And again, you can go online, put in their name, make sure they are licensed to do what they say they're going to do. Protect yourself first at all costs. But there is help out there. There's actual licensed professional help out there. Just ensure you're connecting with someone you feel good with, you feel safe and supported with, and someone you actually trust. If you need any support, you can always reach out to me. Otherwise, I will see you in the next episode about something. What's it going to be on? I don't know. I'm kind of winging it here, but this was really fun. I think it was pretty neat as well, because again, this is something that people can do themselves through the online portal. At this time, a representative cannot access it if you're doing that specific type of portal. You can always hire a representative as well to do the entire thing. You can DIY, you can half DIY. The power's in your hands. You have a choice. Think about it, make a choice, execute. You got this. I'll see you guys next time. Once again, I'm Barbara with Immigration with Barbara, a licensed consultant, and I am here helping you DIY your Canadian immigration.